Protest over the collapse of the Iranian economy by shopkeepers in Tehran's Grand Bazaar has now become extremely massive, spreading to more than 100 cities and towns across all the 31 provinces of Iran. Since 2022, after a uprise over the killing of 22-year-old Mahsa Amini, Iran is currently witnessing one of its biggest protests in recent times, triggered by rising living costs and collapsing currency. The demonstrations, which began on December 28th, has now entered the 13th day today. And amid the widespread outage, a nationwide internet blackout was also reported as the authorities stepped up their digital restrictions on people. The blackout is likely to severely limit the public's ability to communicate at a very critical moment. Protesters were earlier heard calling for the overthrow of Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei and the return of Reza Pahlavi, the exiled son of the late Shah, who was toppled in 1979's Islamic Revolution. Reza Pahlavi urged his supporters to take to the streets. Taking the matter to his social media profile X, he wrote, and I'm going to quote him here, that Reza Pahlavi has asked people to take the matter to the streets. He has written, "Great nation of Iran, the eyes of the world are upon you. Take to the streets and as a united front, shout your demands. I warn the Islamic Republic, its leader and the IRGC that the world and POTUS are closely watching you. Suppression of the people will not go unanswered." He also condemned the Iranian government for cutting all the lines of communication, including shutting down the internet and even attempting to jam satellite signals. He called on all the European leaders to follow the lead of President Donald Trump in supporting the people of Iran and holding the regime to account. The current protests, the biggest wave of dissent in 3 years, began last month in Tehran's Grand Bazaar, with shopkeepers condemning the real currency's free fall. Right groups accused Iranian security forces of shooting at protesters, as the death toll now amounts to 62, while more than 2,260 others have been detained as per the human rights agencies. The anger can be clearly seen as the protesters even tore an Iranian flag in half in a video released on internet in northern Iran during nationwide demonstrations. Meanwhile, United States President Donald Trump has issued a stark threat to Iran over its handling of domestic protests, promising severe U.S. retaliation if the demonstrators are killed. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance also said that his country stands with the people of Iran.
Well, look, we certainly stand by anybody who's engaged in peaceful protest, anybody who's trying to exert their rights for free association and to have their voices heard. Obviously, the Iranian regime has a lot of problems. And as the President of the United States has said, the smartest thing for them to have done, it was true 2 months ago, it's true today, is for them to actually have a real negotiation with the United States about what we need to see when it comes to their nuclear program. I'll let the President speak to what we're going to do in the future, but we certainly stand with anybody across the world, including the Iranian people who are advocating for their rights.
The Iranian Foreign Ministry and military have lashed out over Trump's comments, with Iran's army chief threatening to carry out preemptive strikes on states that threaten Iran. Authorities say that while the right to protest was legitimate, rioters and foreign-backed saboteurs had hijacked these protests. Everyday life has now become increasingly unaffordable for Iranians. The average price of food has increased by more than 70% in fact since last year, and the medicine has increased by 50% in the same time period. The current unrest marks the fourth major wave of anti-regime protests since the year of 2017, driven by corruption, economic mismanagement and strict social controls. And Iran's supreme leader has vowed that the government will not back down in the face of protests that have rocked the country in recent weeks. He has accused demonstrators of being vandals who were trying to please President Donald Trump. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei said security forces would act firmly after protesters took to the streets overnight, shouting slogans, lighting bonfires and chanting against the government in Tehran and other cities. He dismissed Donald Trump as someone whose hands are stained with blood of the Iranians and accused Washington of backing unrest inside Iran. Calling the demonstrators misguided, Khamenei said they were, quote-unquote, ruining their own streets to make the president of another country happy. Now, despite Iran cutting off internet access and international phone lines, videos shared online showed protesters chanting against the regime amid burning debris. Remember, US President Donald Trump, who has publicly voiced support for peaceful protesters, reiterated his warning that the United States would respond if demonstrators are killed. However, Iranian state media blamed what it called US and Israeli-backed terrorist agents for setting fires and also causing violence, while confirming casualties without giving details. The protests, which began in late December over Iran's worsening economy, have now grown into the most serious challenge to the leadership in years. The communication blackout has made it difficult to assess the full scale of this unrest. The demonstrations have also become a test for exiled Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi, who has called for nationwide protest, asked people to take to the streets. Slogans supporting Iran's former Shah have also resurfaced, highlighting the depth of anger against the current regime.